and welcome to Old School, a podcast from the Old Davie School Historical Museum. I'm Kim, the Education Director, and we are getting very excited for Halloween. Today we have an interview with Tim Arnwine from War Party Paranormal. Tim has been here on Saturdays demonstrating the different equipment and techniques that they use during their investigations. They've done a few investigations here as well as other locations like the Deering Estate and the Gold Coast Railroad Museum. They found all kinds of compelling things. He mentions a few of the different devices in this interview, but if you would like to learn more or even try them out yourself, you can come by the Old Davie School these last 2 Saturdays in October for a guided tour of the museum at 10 a.m., 11:30 a.m., or 1 p.m., and you can meet Tim. If you would like a very unique experience, join us on Friday, October 30th for a late night investigation. That's from 10 p.m. till 2 a.m. We talk a little bit in this interview about the benefits of the late night investigation, where the atmosphere is a little bit quieter, where we'll see what we find. Tickets are available on our website at olddavieschool.org. Tim has also caught a few EVPs, which are electronic voice phenomena, and you'll find those posted on our Facebook and Instagram this week, so check those out too. We did this interview in the Veely House, which has been known to be very active with catching EVPs and other strange experiences. But for now, let's get started with Tim Arnwine and learn more about the world of paranormal research. Hello and welcome. Thank you, Tim. I have Tim Arnwine here from War Party Paranormal, and you've been here on Saturdays demonstrating the different equipment that you have. Mm-hmm. But how did you get involved in paranormal research?
I've never had an epiphany like grandma standing at the bed or nothing like that. It was just, I've been doing it like 15, 20 years, and I was a retired medic. So I've seen a lot of death in my days. So I was kind of a science geek, so I always remember the thermodynamics, energy isn't created or destroyed, only transferred. So then I started thinking, there's got to be more than something than just plunking someone in the ground. So I started investigating. I started out with the old stuff like a compass for EMF, and then actual taped recorders where you had to buy tapes, microcassettes, and all that stuff.
So like a compass,
Yeah, a compass is like because it works off EMF. That's how it tells you what direction you're in.
Okay.
And so if you put it down and let it set and it starts spinning, there's something breaking the EMF field. So that way you'll know something's around. Because I used it once in a hotel in a homestead, and I felt a cold spot. Compass started spinning, and then I waited a few minutes. Hey, come on back, and like 10 minutes later, it started spinning the other way.
Oh wow!
And I still have a compass. I still have a few compasses. I put them out every now and then.
Yeah, that's a pretty not high tech something.
Yeah,
that somebody
like
could use.
Yeah, because like the dowsing rods, people use dowsing rods. Mm-hmm. I know we have a lot of members who still just use dowsing rods.
Yeah, and that's been around for a long time, right?
Yeah, because it used to be just to find water, but now it'll find EMF fields. And then tape recorders. We had to buy tape back then. Digital's is so much easier and cheaper.
Yeah, sure. Well, so about when did you start getting involved in?
About 15, 17 years ago.
Okay.
Things have really changed over the years. It's crazy. And now there's a lot of enthusiasm for it. I get asked all the time, how can I do that? Or I wish I can do that. Mm-hmm. So I wrote a book, How to Get Started with It, just so there's a lot of skeptics about this field. So if I can teach someone to do it right or do it honestly, then it's well worth the effort.
Exactly, and it's all research,
Yeah, it's research plus it's testing. We test a lot of stuff. But like I got an EVP here a couple weeks ago. I asked in this house, have you been here more than 50 years? And it said yes, 75. Then last week I was here, I said, were you the one that said yes, 75? And then it was like, that was me. So it's just, you build on the conversations. And I think the more we come to a place, they feel more comfortable because they know we're not here to harm them, disrespect them, or disrespect their property, or you guys, and they just feel more comfortable talking to us.
And what sort of experiences have you had? Like, what's the most remarkable that comes to mind?
Well, here we've had a lot of audio. We've caught a Mr. Allen, what we believe is that there's a principal, Mr. Allen used to be a recorder. I like to look at pictures at historical places and just spit out names. And his name came out, we got a yes. And then the day and night hauntings is a farce. I was here one day with Eric at 1 in the afternoon, and we asked Mr. Allen, what's your favorite subject? And we get a Class A EVP of math. So we get a lot of EVPs here. We've had a lot of Kinect evidence. The Kinect is like the Xbox, except someone reformatted it, because the Xbox will read you when you're playing the game. Mm-hmm. It'll kind of ape what you're doing because it's reading stick and dot figures. Mm-hmm. And then when however you react to like a swing and a bat or something. But the guy who formatted it put it live on a tablet. So now we'll see stick and dot figures, but if it's like we're shooting you'll see a human silhouette. But if you see a stick and dot figure, especially in an open room, it's reading some kind of energy. Now sometimes it might map a chair. A lot of people might go, oh, there's a ghost sitting in that chair. No, it's mapping the chair. Or I tell people, if you see a stick and dot figure by a wall, it might be just me mapping the wall.
You like also, as you're doing it, sort of account for
because the more you use this stuff, you can go, okay, that's probably the wall. Mm-hmm. Because if you put stuff out there and you assume what it is, then and if you do it too much, it's like crying wolf. It's like when I put out EVPs for people to listen to, I always put out there, humans have what's called hearing matrixing, like you see cloud matrixing, like you might see a dog and I'll see a giraffe. Hearing matrixing is the same thing. So like you might hear something completely different. And that's the way you should present evidence, to get feedback. Because for all you know, someone can say, listen, I thought it said Kim. And then you go back to the location, you say, is there Kim here? Yeah, she works there. Okay, that's a little more confirmation. Mm-hmm. Or, if you're doing the Connect, you could always try to confirm it by saying, go stand by it, and then say, hey, can you reach out to this person? Mm-hmm. If the stick and dot figure reaches out to you, that's a confirmation that it's kind of an intelligent reacting to you. Or can you raise your hand? Mm-hmm. Things like that. Because you're always just trying to debunk it right there. Mm-hmm. And it'll just save you a lot. And the main thing is credibility. So as long as you can maintain your credibility, and as long as you don't mind that people might hear something different or see something different, it really doesn't bother you, because that's the way the human is built. They see things different, and then you go with that. Mm-hmm. But we get a lot of stuff, especially here. Yeah. We love this. This is like my favorite place.
Really? Yeah,
I love this place.
Well, I'm doing more and more often we're having different things are happening. So, and every time we do the different tours at night, when you said that it made me more comfortable with a person, it's interesting to see the different groups come through. Yeah. Like because there'll be one group in the Walsh house and it'll be pretty quiet. Mm-hmm. But the next group that comes in, it's like something is connected to somebody there, or not has a connection or comfortability with them. That's why we try to move people around. Mm-hmm. And I tell people in my group, you might not get nothing here. Mm-hmm. But I tell people, even when we do like residentials or business, I say, look, there's no guarantee we'll catch anything, because ghosts don't make appointments and they don't wear watches, or they just might not feel comfortable with us. I mean, a lot of times we've actually put a recorder down and left the room and come back and get some good EVPs. Oh wow! Because we did a house once, and I asked the team, I go, let's just step outside for 5 minutes. Everybody left the house, and we left the recorder on. We came back, and the first thing we heard was, they're gone. So it was like party time. Yeah. So. Wow. So when you do residential, do you do kind of like, I don't know, is that called like consulting? Like if somebody thinks that there's... Yeah, they'll call us and say, I think I got some activity in my house. Like, okay, we'll come by. Usually we'll do like a pre-investigation where we'll send maybe 1 or 2 people with a couple things just to get an idea, and then to get in to talk to the client and see what they're experiencing, or do like a little walkthrough. And then if we might do an EMF sweep, and the EMF electromagnetic field, there might be one area that they're really feeling something. Mm-hmm. And I did a house once where just a wall with a whole entertainment center, mm-hmm. they were feeling like they were being touched when they walked by this area. But when I did the sweep, the EMF, remember, was 2.5 below. This was like 70. Oh, wow. And it turns out when I went outside, every motor to that house, the spa motor, the pool motor, all that stuff, was adjacent to that wall. Oh, okay. Yeah. So I suggested, I go, once you guys have all this stuff re-insulated, mm-hmm.
And they also had 2 windows. It wasn't just a pure wall. So actually the motors were here, the window was here, window was here. So they had all this like EMF stuff leaking in. And if you get too much EMF, it'll play with your head. So once they had everything re-insulated, they were fine. We didn't have to do an investigation. But if we agree, yeah, we'll bring back some people. And then we know what we have to bring back. If we get something negative, we know we have to bring back a sensitive and someone who can maybe cleanse the house. Or someone, our sensitives are real good about cleansing and they're real good about educating the person, how to better protect yourself as time goes on. They might give them some prayers to say or sage or whatever they think they need to do. And that way, the client, at the end of the day, you just want the client to feel comfortable. Like even if we don't get nothing, like I said, they don't make appointments and all that. I always tell a client, do me a favor, keep a log for like a week or 2. Let me know if something's happening and when it is. We might be coming at the wrong time. It might have to be in the afternoon.
Well, so that you guys, the first time you guys came was in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
So is it just the perception that things
Yeah.
happen at night because it's quieter?
Yeah, everybody thinks everything happens at night. I mean, sometimes when it's daytime, it's real hustle bustle. Like if this was on a main highway, it might be hard to get EVPs because you have the cars coming by. But if it's quieter at night, you might be able to catch more at night just because the atmosphere is different. But I mean, I've done this place at 11 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon and caught stuff. I've been here at 1 in the morning and caught stuff. It just depends. But it could be like, especially visual stuff, like if someone sees like a mist and we go there like at 8 at night, but they write in their log, they see the mist at 1 in the morning. It might be residual. Residual hauntings are kind of like a haunting. It don't even know you're there. It's tape looped in time. And it might, like my grandma's house, my mom lived there till she died. 3 people died in that house, natural causes. We didn't. And 2:30 in the morning, mist comes down the hall like clockwork every night. And my grandma had a habit of waking up at 2:30 in the morning, walking down the hall, getting her little jelly jar full of water, and going back to bed. So even my daughter said, "Dad, I see that mist." And it's just a residual haunting. So it might be if it's a visual, they say, I see this thing at 11 at night. Well, let's come at 11 at night. And then we'll put a camera on it and maybe we'll catch the residual. And that's all it is. And if it's a residual haunting, it's just there. You can't get it. Because I told my daughter once, I said, I said, why'd you film that mist for me so I have to go up there? I ain't doing that. I go, Jesse, you don't even know you're there. So finally she got the courage to stand in the hall and she said she saw the visual field, she was like, get opaque. And it was cold. And then it got better. I go, yeah, it's just residual. That's the way it is. So it just might be the timing for everything. Because we had to go back and do a house at 1 in the afternoon. We caught a lot of evidence.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I'll say our most often experiences here are in the middle of the day. Like
yeah, because it's you guys. And, they might react to it. Because your name has been called out a few times.
Yes, yeah.
So it might just be, we always ask them, and, it's not to cause trouble. It's just a conversation. Do you like the people who are here? Or do you like what they've done to this location? And a lot of times the location question we're going to know because, of course, nobody likes nobody likes any renovations you might have done, or they might have liked this thing parked where it was. But we always ask, do you like the staff? Do you like the way they're treating this place? And we get a lot of responses from that. We'll say, who do you know works here? We get Kim a lot. I did a vet's office once, and I got the name Nara for some reason on the ovulus. And I asked the vet, I go, is there a Nara who works here? He goes, yeah, she works here during the day.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not a usual name.
So, and at the end, we're always asked, do you need help? Because if they need help, we can try to find a way to help them. We can always say, do you want to move on? Do you need help moving on? Then we can bring in a sensitive or someone. And usually, because we did a house once that it wasn't a bad house, but you could feel a pressure change when you walk in the house. But after we did the cleansing and everything, you can feel the house was a lot lighter.
Oh, wow.
It's just, and then they had no more problems after that.
So do you have any suggestions for anybody who is interested in getting involved in paranormal research?
Yeah.
Joining a group?
Yeah, join a group. There's a thing called Paranormal Societies. It's a national registry. You can always look on there and find a team in your area and see if they're bringing on people. There's a place called Ghost Stop where a lot of stuff comes from Ghost Stop. Same thing, go to their website, teams in your area, and then try to join a team. Because what you really need in this field is credibility and experience. I joined the team initially, then I went out on my own for years. And I was fortunate enough to really investigate with a lot of really great people who had the same mentality I do, that we're here, the clients first, credibilities, everything. And then I hooked up with War Party. They invited me to come on. So I've been investigating with them for years. My team, you gotta understand that ghost hunting is 99% volunteers. No one, if someone charges you to go there, be a little leery of it, because if I was a client, I would wonder what's the priority, me or getting a check. So that's why we never charge, because we want the client to know that they're the priority. We're there to help them, and it's a two-way street, because you're allowing us in to investigate, and we're there to help you, but you are allowing us in. So you can't really charge people or help them. So it's just our philosophy that we're there to help people. But yeah, if anybody wants to get into it, they join a team. And then if they feel like they want to strike out on their own, that's okay. I did that. It's not a big deal. But it's just, you just have to remember credibilities. Don't make up stuff.
Yeah.
And like I said, I always tell the client right up, we may not catch nothing. Because once you start making up stuff, and you get caught, it gets around. And then your word is not good.
Yeah, you lose your authority of what you're doing.
Yeah, and another reason we don't charge is because then I don't have to tell you what you want to hear. I can still keep my integrity and my honesty. So that's another reason you don't charge, because then you're allowed, you don't owe anybody anything. All you do is owe them the truth, just what we found, as long as you don't make it up.
Exactly. Well, and that's what we appreciate, because we don't want people to think that the history that we're sharing here, that any of it is made up. So if we would make up something as with a ghost story, I don't want people to be scared of coming into a place.
Oh, no.
So if somebody makes up a story that there's a scary ghost in a building, we don't want people to be.
Yeah, no, I mean, because I always tell people, I go, because when we start the tours, I always tell people, now this isn't a haunted house. No one's going to jump out and yell boo. Yeah. Just relax. You guys are it's your night. And I always impress on them, it's their night. It's not our night. They're investigating. They get to play with the tools. They get to ask the questions. And the thing that I think that we do that's pretty cool is we do really short recording sessions, because we play it back, and we do it for two reasons. One, if you get an answer, you build on it. And two, you're actually sharing the experience with them. If I did a 4-hour EVP and went home and listened to it by myself, they don't get that. Yeah. It's kind of like going fishing with a captain, saying, there's snapper there, there's grouper there, but you're dropping a pole. And that's the whole thing of these events, is to let them experience it. But at the same time, I tell everybody, I go, the places we do, they're very proud of their hauntings. So if you want to go there and pay the fee and walk around with a recorder, no one's going to shut you down. And a lot of people are like, really? That's pretty cool. I go, yeah, as long as you pay for the tour and you're able to go out and you're not disturbing anybody. Ask them, of course, because some places might have a field trip going on, and they don't want you spooking a bunch of kids. Most 90% of the time, places we go to, they won't shut you down. So sometimes, and I've heard from people who said, I went back to Gold Coast, or I went back to Old Davie and did some recording, and it just helps out more. That way it's more of a... It's all information. Yeah, and it's cool.
You have your book available here.
Yeah.
Ghost Hunting Getting Started. And so where else can people find you?
Amazon. It's only $6. There's no pictures in it. But the reason is I don't want to run the price up with pictures. It's very affordable to everybody. And it'll tell you how to start a team, find locations, how to do one, how to review evidence, and all this equipment you use is all explained.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. And thank you so much for being here on Saturdays.
We love you guys.
Have more events coming up soon, too. So
yeah, we'll be back here.
Not just Halloween. That's always our most popular time, but...
it's
year-round. It's not just the...
Yeah, if people are looking to get on a team, go to find your local investigations, like your tours, because it's usually run by teams. You get to know the team and say, are you guys looking? We have 2 members who were at another location. We met them. And later on, they kept coming to a couple tours, and then they asked, you guys looking? So we brought them on.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it's another way to find a team. Just go. Just show that you're passionate about it. And you're willing to show up to things, and it's fun. We have a good time with it.
Absolutely, it's always very interesting. I'm always fascinated. But thank you very much.
Thank you.